Absolutely.
Julie, I kid you not. We were doing this in Richmond and in DC within like a couple of days, and both times, folks almost kidnapped Andrew. I was worried for his well being. They're like, "Can I just take you home and use you as my prompter?" So,
Right, right.
which is why virtually today.
So, we're just
Yes.
not virtual. No, I'm kidding.
Well, welcome everyone. Welcome. We're going to wait about a minute or two to have everyone join us. This is a great session today on how to empower yourself using AI. I know this is new to a lot of people, this awesome technology, but we want to use it in a positive way and how to leverage your business. Super excited today to be here with Tim and Andrew Hooper, my partners in the industry of real estate. And so thank you so much for being here today. Pat yourself on the back. Again, just really coming and investing in yourself as an agent, learning your craft, learning in different ways how to manipulate your craft in a positive way to get to your clients and do action. I'm always about action plans on how to generate business. So
very important. Very important.
Yeah.
I think, I think it was Henry Ford that said, in the end, more gets, we say a lot, more gets said than done. And in the end, more is said than done, right? At the end of the day, if you walk out of today with anything, hopefully a few strategies and things you can go do today using AI to streamline, save some time, and also not lose who you are in the world of AI. So that's really what I'm excited to dig into today. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm excited. As you join, would you drop in the chat? Are you at 10? Are you using Chat GPT today? Like a 10, a 9, an 8, you're pretty hot? Are you kind of middle of the road, a 5, like you're kind of dabbled in it? Or are you like me, you've come along kicking and screaming and you're a 1? Or Amy, thank you. Yeah, you and me, 0, 1. Kicking and screaming. I'm like, oh man. So like Chat GPT, Julie, I joke, but I'm not Tim Hooper over there. I'm Tom Cooper. So I like
Nice.
Like, doing all anyway. So no, I'm excited.
And he uses DuckDuckGo as his browser while he does that. So
I'm not that.
I kid.
Good. Okay, 1 to 2, 0, 6. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
But yeah, it kind of gives us an idea of who's on, and we have a 10 in here as well. Use it 5 minutes before this. Okay, Bev, thank you for taking us to a 10. That's awesome. Bev is good, and you have a great partner in MBH and Julie. And just again, Julie, I appreciate the fact that you evolve your sales. You're a killer salesperson, and every day a student of it. So thank you for leading this. So I think without further ado, Julie, why don't you kick us off? And Andrew's got a lot to cover.
Again, welcome everyone to our second summer series class on AI and how to empower yourself as an agent using AI. Again, we want to make sure that we don't get lost in the sauce, right? We want to make sure we still have that human touch. This is such a belly-to-belly industry, and we want to make sure that people understand the true resources and attributes that you bring as a human. But we also want to utilize this new technology that everyone's using and AI and helping to, I guess, communicate maybe a little bit more effectively, right? And working smarter and not harder. So today you'll have a few items to take away with you. Andrew Hooper is our amazing agency training coordinator today, who's going to be helping us with AI. No, you cannot bring him home or rent him or buy him, but you will be able to utilize him today. So make sure you have your piece of paper and pen and take good notes. We want this to be as interactive as possible, so do not hesitate to chat within the chat box. I'll be taking a look at that, and we will be going along and answering those questions as well as presenting. So with further ado, thank you so much, Tim Hooper and Andrew Hooper, our industry partners and leaders in title, and take it away.
Thank you, Julie. Wonderful job. A big shout out to MBH. If you're just give a nice virtual clap. Hope you're clapping your camera right now. Thank you, MBH, for bringing some very valuable content to the table. So a couple additional housekeeping rules, not really rules. We'll try to live by them, guidelines. Drop questions in the chat. I tried to keep this simple, but packed with some value. So we have a lot to cover in the hour together. If we don't get to your questions, I will respond to the questions in a follow-up email if we can't get to them all within the allotted time. And if you do have to drop off, if you run a slight bit long, this is recorded, so you can skip right to where you had to drop off and catch the rest of the recording. But without further ado, let's get into it. The AI empowered agent. I'm excited for this one. So Tim, let's jump right in. And just so you know what we're going to be doing today, I'm going to drive the presentation. Tim is going to be actually demonstrating what we're talking about for everybody on the screen. So I think sometimes we go to classes and it's just a lot of talk. It's a dissertation. I want you to see it in action. I think seeing it in action creates belief and creates repeatability. If you see it done, I can do it too. So that's what we're going to do today. I wanted to start with a little bit of a story. Does anyone know how long it took, and you can drop this in the chat if you do, from when electricity was first invented in the world, and specifically in the United States? How many years did it take for electricity to go from inception, creation, to being in every household in the United States? How many years? Someone said 5 years.
I know the answer, so I can't answer.
Tim can't answer. 20. All right, cool. Some good answers in here. 12. Awesome. So for the sake of time, guys, electricity took 82 years. And some rumor has it some parts of West Virginia are still struggling to get it in every home. I'm kidding. That was a bad joke. But at the end of the day, we are looking at cycles of things that have taken, sometimes that are very good, that have taken years to adopt. And to put that in perspective, social media from inception to mass adoption, 2 years. 2 years. So you go from early 1900s to mid-late 1900s, and it took 82 years for electricity. And I like what Andrew Ng says. He's founder of Deep Learning AI. It's just the new electricity. Just like electricity transformed industries, AI is poised to do the same. So if we're not yet using AI and we're not yet figuring out where we can use AI in our business, we'll naturally just be behind the curve of those who are using it to streamline and become more efficient. We're going to talk a little bit about strategies, but I'm also going to talk about time management here too. How can we really stand out using this and putting more time back in our day to do the activities we all want to be doing, getting belly to belly, going and getting new listings, going and attracting and finding new buyers in the marketplace, creating the content we want to create, and not spending all this time thinking about it. So what we're going to cover today, we're going to cover this type of AI. We're going to talk about ChatGPT. We're going to talk about what you can do for free. ChatGPT is free, the free version. Going to give you strategies. We're going to go over how to talk to AI. And this is what Julie talked about. We don't want to lose who we are as human beings in using AI. And far too many people right now are trying to use it as an easy button without the strategy, and they're losing their tone. I think we could all agree we're probably getting spam messages on LinkedIn and our emails every single day that are tone deaf. They have no resonance with who we are. And people are trying to use AI for is just lead gen. Well, do you want to be like everyone else, or do you want to stand out? You can be efficient with AI and still stand out. We're going to go through that. And then we'll wrap with how to create an account and the added benefits of the plus version if you do want to pay for it and when you might want to pay for it. So Tim, let's keep rolling forward. One last story before we jump in. Back in the 80s, Microsoft came out with Excel. And there was a whole industry of people who were very disgruntled by this. The accountants. They were disgruntled by it because their job up to that point was going through all the invoices, accounts receivable, payroll, keeping nice, neat ledgers, just like you see on your screen, handwritten numbers, doing the math, calculating it, and delivering these beautiful portfolios of numbers back to their clients. That was the job of an accountant coming in the 1980s. With the emergence of Excel, everyone in the industry said, we're going to lose our jobs. Accountants are going to go away. Do we still have accountants today, guys? We do. We still have accountants today. Excel allowed accountants to focus on what Tim and I call HBUT. Anyone heard of HBUT? Highest and best use of time. Is an accountant's skill set truly typing in numbers and doing math and getting a data source? Maybe. But is it safe to say accountants now play a much more consultative role with their clients? They're more belly to belly. They're helping streamline based on the numbers, not spending all their time doing the numbers. To equate this to real estate, how much time do you spend writing a listing? How much time do you spend writing an article? How much time do you come up creating content ideas that we can now flip leveraging AI to save time and actually spend the time doing those activities that matter. Yeah. Very powerful story. So let's think not like the accountants, but let's get on board with the technology. So last year in November, ChatGPT rolled out. Now, why ChatGPT today? Because I'm not a guru by any means. I am an everlasting student of everything that is new in the world. So I absorb information, I teach myself. And guys, with AI, there is a lot of white noise out there. I mean, every day in my social media feed, I'm seeing ads for this type of AI and this type of AI and everything. And they're all trying to get you to convert. They're using AI to try to get you to buy AI, and they want you to spend some money and make some money. Well, let me tell you something. If you don't know where to start, you need to start with ChatGPT. As of today, this could change in a month, but as of today, ChatGPT is the strongest and the most robust tool you can use in your marketing. There are other platforms that compete. They're great. ChatGPT is still by far amongst the people who know, the people I listen to every day when I'm driving around, listen to podcasts and all the experts. It's still one of the top tools, and it's what I've found to be the easiest to use in our industry. So, what is GPT? Real quick, stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. That's all it means. Like over here on the right, that's HAL 9000 from Space Odyssey. Anybody? I'm sorry, Dave, I can't do that. Now, unlike HAL 9000, ChatGPT can do a whole lot. So we're going to get into that. It's a large language model. What does that mean? That simply means it's basically read the entire Internet of Things, and it can communicate and think based on what it's taught itself like a human. That's just a very simple way to put it. It can interact with us and speak with us just like another human being. And then the other thing that will come up today is OpenAI.com. While the product is ChatGPT, the company who owns ChatGPT is OpenAI.com. So that's who owns it. So we're going to jump right into 10 strategies to supercharge our business. And Tim, strategy number 1. Generating new social media content ideas. I won't belabor the point, but all of us have sat there. We went to a social media class. You may have come to one of my social media classes in the past, and you had some ideas. But you went to do it yourself, and you're like, you got stuck. What do I say? How do I start? What do I do? What do I make content about? How do I determine? Have you ever have a feeling that you know what you're good at, but you can't verbalize it? Anybody with me? Like, we know we're good, but sometimes it's hard to verbalize. So we're going to jump right into the first strategy, and you're going to bear with us. We are going to do a jump back and forth from the presentation to ChatGPT, because I do want you guys to experience this firsthand. So this is ChatGPT, for those of you who haven't used it. Some of you have. I think a few people were at zero. You may not have seen this. There is a simple method for talking to ChatGPT, and it's this little box right down here at the bottom that says send a message. So the first strategy we're talking about is coming up with ideas for content. So Tim, why don't we start typing in the box? And we're going to type, and we're using you're on a new chat already, so we're good. We're using the free version right now, folks. So we're not into anything paid. We're just going to type into the box that I'm a realtor, and bear with Tim's typing. He's been working on his skills here. I'm a realtor in, we can say Northern Virginia, Northern Virginia. I'd like to create some content very specific to the community of, let's say, Ashburn. Is Ashburn an up and coming area out here, right? It's Loudoun County, right? All right. I'd like to create content specific to Ashburn. Give me 10 content ideas for short form video under 40 seconds. That can be done in under 40 seconds. All right, let's see what we can spit out here.
And just so you know, guys, I'm going to put these as starter prompts for you in the chat. All right.
All right. So it's generating just like that. Very quick, very seamless. So we're looking at the screen here. We have neighborhood highlights, home tours, local amenities, school district insights. It's giving you quite a few things you can do. So maybe you didn't know where to start. Many of us have heard about doing a neighborhood highlight. Many of us have heard about doing testimonials or spotlighting a local business, local amenities, showcase the convenience of living in Ashburn. So what we're able to do is really come up with ideas. Now, if we want to really be specific, Tim, go ahead and throw an example in there of like, give me 10 ideas around why someone might want to consider buying a home when the interest rates are at 7.5% as it relates to being disciplined financially and building wealth. Because again, all of us have this in us, I think. Sometimes it's hard for us to verbalize and be able to get it out of us in a way that is really appealing to our audience. And Tim, just so thank you for the comment there, Rick. We will drop these. This will come out to everyone who attended afterwards. So since you can't copy that out of the chat.
That's exactly right. Thank you, Andrew.
All right. So here it gives us, again, creating content ideas. It just gave us a list of 10 things that we could get on video and talk about, 10 things that we could take and iterate into an article or iterate into find some quotes about. So I'm not going to go too deep, but this is one of the most basic strategies. If you don't know where to start with your content, come to GPT, tell it what you want to talk about. And as you can see here, I talk to it like I'm a person. Hey, give me 10 ideas why someone might want to consider buying a home. You don't have to be too bullet pointed. It can be pretty easy to go through. So Tim, let's jump back, go through strategy number 2.
I mean, this looks to me, Andrew, as if it's kind of like, I don't know about you, but I'm a queen of Google and I Google everything. And it's truly, you just think of an idea, you think of a thought, you put it in there, you type it in there, just like Google.
Yeah. Great. That's, if you're not sure where to start with GPT, and I will circle back to this at the end, you should have it saved, create the account, the free account, have it saved in your browser. When you open your workspace every morning, open it. And before you go to Google, just go to GPT and do that instead. It'll get you in a really good habit of starting to iterate. Short form video scripts. So we're going to go right back to the same chat. And one little pro tip here with ChatGPT, all of the chats you start as Tim shares. So you look over on the left. Those are all the chats in the last whenever that I've started. All right. When I want to do something for content, I'm always going to come back and use the same chat.
So good.
Why is that? Because the way you get your content to be individualized is by telling ChatGPT how you want it to talk to you, how you want it to create content for you. So if you keep doing a new chat every time, you're not teaching it within the same chat what you want for that type of content. So we're going to come back to the same chat to have it develop a script. So for this, again, like number 3 here, I'm not going to use because that's tax benefits and we don't want to be giving tax advice, right? And if you do, you got to say, I'm not a tax advisor. Like you got to talk to an accountant. But let's talk about rental income potential. So Tim, just tell the chat, I liked number 7, rental income potential. You can say that. I think it'll recognize number 7. Can you write me a 36-second script for a short video, starting with a good hook, and knowing that I'm only using my phone and talking, I don't have any B-roll. Now, I've learned with chat that if you ask it for a script here, guys, tell it that you're just going to be using your phone and you don't have B-roll. What is B-roll? That would be like a shot of a home or something overlaying the video. Most of the content we're going to make on the fly is probably us talking. We might be using some pictures. But for this, I just want to make an educational piece here around rental income. Hit enter. Let's see what we get. Thank you, Julie, for doing the paste there. Awesome. So start with an engaging hook. Hold up a key or a small property-related item. Realtor smiling. Hey there. Now, here's the one thing. Chat's formal. If you're making videos, you're going to want to iterate and say, don't start with an intro. I'll say my name at the end. Please start with the hook. So again, we're iterating. This is one of the most powerful things you can do with chat.
Iterate.
Make it your own. Make it your own. Make it your own. All right. So right there, pick up with imagine if, right? Imagine this. You own a property here in Ashburn. What if you told you could do more than just be your home? It could be your financial asset. This can come up with some really good verbiage you can use. And it tells you what you could put text on the screen. By renting out part of your property, you can generate passive income. So it's going to give you all sorts of content here, content ideas that you can script out for yourself. All right.
It's even coaching you here.
So if you want to, right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here we go. There we go.
So you're going to create this. Now you can simplify and you can say, listen, I don't really like the tone. Write it more in a more fun way. Maybe you're a humorous person or you're more fun than the tone it's giving. Like sometimes it seems very Shakespearean to me. I don't have to accept what it's telling me. I can absolutely change it up. All right. So it's going to change some tonality on you. If you're appealing to a specific demographic of home buyer, you can absolutely have it cater to that, right? Maybe you're selling a lot in a senior community. You might want to write it more geared towards that generation. So you can actually tell it to gear something towards whatever your demographic you're going after. It will help do that for you. So again, just specific marketing ideas here when you're doing a script. For the sake of time, no, okay. But this gives you enough demonstration. My point here with your scripts, guys, iterate it. But the key strategy here is be specific with how long you want your video to be. Don't let it just tell it to write you a script. It'll write you a paragraph that takes 3 minutes. And we don't want that in our video. So let's keep moving forward, Tim. All right. Writing blogs and articles. Now, this one's pretty fun for me because I think a lot of us are told that for our websites, for SEO, search engine optimization, we need to be posting blog posts. We need to be writing articles. If you're in the room with me, I'd ask you to raise your hand of how many of you are on LinkedIn. If you're on LinkedIn, a great strategy is to write articles for LinkedIn. So with that being said, how do we streamline articles? So we're going to do a new chat and we're going to jump into writing an article. So Julie, I'm going to let you come up with the topic for this one. Tim, you can start typing. Tell us a topic for an article that you think a realtor in Northern Virginia should be writing. And while you're thinking, I want to share one thing. Just because someone else has an article or a video already out there about something does not mean you shouldn't be doing the same.
Yeah.
It's all about your brand and your awareness. So if someone's searching Google for something specific, like the best places to take my kids on a weekend, is your competition going to come up with their blog post on their website, or do you have something similar out there? If I'm looking for the best restaurants, if I'm looking for the best in a community, or if I'm looking for the best neighborhoods for, schools, like whatever that is, we can come up with something. So Julie, what do you come up with while you were thinking there?
Let's see. An article in which an agent would want to write to the general public, correct?
Yes, for a website or an article, could be anything. Doesn't have to be real estate related. I think sometimes we try to make all our content related to real estate, and we should maybe do it geared towards some things we like to do personally or that we love about the community.
Right. How do I best educate myself in understanding how to go about finding what I needed within that community, right? So if I'm house hunting, what are the 5 top best, or what are the 5 top needs and wants for a 4-person family, right? Cool. Is it schools? Is it the location? Is it the price? Is it the distance from my job? Like, what are the things in looking for what is needed for a 4-person family? Okay.
Love it. So Tim was going here. Write me an article about 5 top needs and wants for a 4-person family looking to move to Northern Virginia.
Yes.
Any iteration here to see what it gives.
Let's just see what it gives us first. Because most of us, to be honest, we're going to jump in and just prompt it like this. We're not going to get into too many super complex prompts today. But as you can see here, it's writing us a article.
Amazing.
About this. Now, it's going on. It's a little long. So maybe I want this to be shorter. So I'm like, we're not going to read it right now, but great. I like it. Shorten to 1,000 words.
Good.
Yep. So it'll iterate it down to be a 1,000 word article or a 500 word or a 1,500 words. So you can be specific with that. Now, one of the cool things here with the tone is we can absolutely have this written in a different tone. So if you have like a favorite magazine you like, or a newspaper you read, like it writes this out, right? Relocating a new area with family in tow is exciting yet complex endeavor. Like, it writes better than most of us can. Now, the one thing that comes up here a lot is, well, what about copyrights? Well, with articles, you really don't have to worry about that. These are informational. You're not writing a book. You're not directly profiting from this. So this is going to gather. And what I found is it's very accurate with some of the things. If you're writing about areas, it's very accurate based on what it's pulling online for the things in that area.
For example, that commute. Yeah, the commute. I see right there. It talks about the VRE. Yes.
Right. Commute, VRE. Now, then you could take, if it's me and I'm iterating, I could say, great. Now take the one about the commute and transportation and write me a 500 word article or a 1,000 word article just about the commute and transportation in Northern Virginia. Right. So I can take this and distill it down into now one article idea turned into 10.
Right.
And now I have 10 I can post on my website as a blog post and on my LinkedIn as an article or anywhere else. I could even try to get it published in a local magazine or paper if I'm so inclined. Now, the one thing I want to really stress here is if I went back and gave it the same prompt, it may not spit out the exact same words every time. But what I find here with folks who are doing this, sometimes they're taking the very first thing.
Yeah.
So a pro tip here, if you're taking notes, if you've ever written an article or a letter, you can take that, copy and paste it into a new chat. We're not demonstrating this. I'm just educating you on this. So if you have a previous thing you've written yourself, like you wrote the whole thing, it's your heart, it's your mind, it's your soul. Copy and paste that into a new chat and say, Chat GPT, this is an article I've written. or this is a letter I've written. I'd like you to write my articles with this same tone. Natalie asked in the chat, can these articles be saved and used as a follow-up to the first article? Yes, Natalie. So the chat is 100% saved. So as you iterate in a chat, it's going to continue to go down, down, down. And it's saved over on the left as Tim's demonstrating right now. So it will be there for you. And then to copy it, Tim, if you just want to demonstrate the little button there that you click. So at the top of whatever section, you simply click the little icon there that looks like a clipboard. And that will copy it. You can go right to a Word document and paste it in, or paste it into an email, or right into LinkedIn if you so choose. Now, the strategy there, again, if you have something you've written, put it in there, tell ChatGPT to read it and write your articles with your same tone and your same approach. But with these articles, you can still tell it, hey, I want to add more around this. I don't really use these words, so don't use that word. Replace it with something else. Replace it with this word that I use. Don't just take the first thing it splits out for a blog article. All right, number 4, writing listings. How many of us love writing listings? Really writing anything you have to write as a realtor. Sometimes there's lenders in the room. I'm like, if you're a lender, if you're writing an opportunity memo, like this can be a great starting point for you. For us, though, we're going to focus on listings today. So, Tim, go ahead and just type it in here. Write me a listing.
All right.
What was that?
I was going to say, does somebody want to?
Well, let's just make it up today for the sake of time. All right. So write me a listing for let's see, Northern Virginia's got some big homes. Let's do a nice one for a 8-bedroom, 5-bathroom.
Wow. Okay.
What's a good style of home here? This is like my bucket list here,
8 bedrooms? I see.
Good luck.
We're out in Loudon today. Okay.
All right, exactly. Yeah, Tim and I come from a family of 14, so this is a small house for us. But so 8-bedroom, 5-bathroom in Loudoun County, VA. Give us a style. It's just a colonial style home. Has a pond. And whatever else. Yeah, fleet of Roomba lift. Rick, you're 100% right. And they're going to get stuck everywhere, too. And I'm going to be climbing under couches to get them out.
You're going to need a fleet of Roombas.
So with close out pond, long driveway, fenced yard, just whatever features here, put in the bullet points. And then I want you to say, period, write this to appeal to an executive, more affluent client type who may be relocating to the DMV from out of state. Because in this area, we get a lot of politicians moving into that type of house.
Okay.
We don't know where they're getting their money, but they're moving in.
Don't go there.
I'm not going there. I'm just saying we all know.
I'll keep my mouth shut on that one, but okay.
All right.
Go for it. Hit it. Let's go. All right. So this, Tim, just don't let it go all the way down. Go right to the top for me so we can start reading that. There you go. So I'm going to let you guys just take a minute and read that. It's going to go down some key features. And what you'll notice here is it will make stuff up to fill the gaps. So if you're reading this and you're like, okay, it doesn't have a gourmet kitchen, just respond and tell it, I love this, rewrite it, and you can bullet point that out for the kitchen. It's not a gourmet chef's kitchen. It's more of a galley. For the 8 luxurious bedrooms, only 4 are luxurious and 4 are not nice at all. No, whatever you want to say there, but you can just go right down and tell it exactly what to change to make it match your listing. So again, huge time saver here. You should absolutely be using this to write your listings for you. You can even write this as a basis for anything you need to write up. I mean, I would say if you're writing an offer, if you're writing certain things like that, have it start it for you and then go iterate it. It gives you a really good outline. Like anything you're spending a ton of time, hours writing, start with GPT, iterate with it, and it will save you time. Julie, anything you want to add there?
Yes, I do. I actually do. So Andrew, great point. Agents, we all know we go into Bright MLS. We copy and paste the old description of the house from the previous listing agent, and we put it into ours. Let's not do that. Let's take one extra step and truly figuring out, okay, is it still 3 bedrooms? Did they add a new bedroom this last owner? Is it still 2.5 baths? Did they add a new bathroom? So let's do the research and trying to figure out, was there an added bedroom? Was there an added bathroom, et cetera, et cetera? Yes, copy and paste, but maybe copy and paste and put it into chat GPT.
Please.
Yeah.
And see how it can rewrite it and reword it to make it more eloquent as well as, just educational. But let's stop the trend of copying and pasting from the old listing agent to you.
You can, and Julie, thank you. Yes, we were doing this with about 100 real estate agents in DC, and one of them gave us an address. So we spelled out the specifics, and then we actually typed in the address at the end, and it actually put a price in there. It put because it was able to iterate.
And the price was within about 20,000 of what.
So you could put your address in here and see what it spits out, and then iterate from there as well. So again, and make it your tone, like Andrew did. I love that executive, affluent, like
who are you going for,
going
right?
After.
Yeah,
yes.
we go to the classes where it teaches about client profiles. Who are you marketing to? Have it be specific. Joyce asked, can you edit the content without asking it to? Absolutely. So if you liked it enough, just copy it out, put it into Microsoft, and do your edits that you want to do with it. Julie, you mentioned you can copy the old description and do that, but throw it in GPT.
Throw it in GPT. Yes.
For this, do not just copy and paste it to your listing.
Right.
You're going to no competitive advantage there at all.
Yes.
Give me a second.
You're good.
There we go.
And on that note, Julie, you it's like you knew it was coming. Rewrite articles and translate them. So this to me is really cool. So with GPT, Tim, just go back to the article chat where we wrote an article. And we have the article here. So the first thing I'm going to do is rewrite. So let's imagine that we went to MLS and we've copied the listing or we have an article. The rewriting here is something I think is very cool. So what if what's a popular news source up there in Northern Virginia, Julie?
A popular news source?
Yeah. Is there like say a local news website? I'll just roll with this one. So say
there's an Alexandria newspaper. I know Avery County has a newspaper that comes out. Alexandria newspaper, Fairfax newspaper. Yes.
Beautiful. So again, if you're taking someone else's article and just reposting it, you're allowed to do that. Like you can take the news article and just repost WABC's news article on LinkedIn or wherever you want it. But I say take it and rewrite it with your thoughts in GPT. So you can simply go to the website, just highlight the whole page, copy, come to GPT, paste, and say, rewrite this article using my tone. I want to really highlight these 3 things from the article and call that out. to potential home buyers who are moving to the area, and you do that. And now it's going to rewrite an article for you that's already been written, and it's just something you like. Now, instead of sharing someone else's content, you just made your own piece of content.
Right.
Or same thing, take this article and write me a short video script talking about this article. Like, look at the article, flip it into a video script, 35 seconds where I highlight these 3 things that are in that article. And boom, you have a nice little piece of content you can record and post about the article. So many ways you can do this.
Do you want to rewrite this one?
Yeah. So just rewrite this article. And I just want to give you guys an example. Rewrite the above article. And I like to do it this way, like in the tone of a Vanity Fair article. Like, I don't know, Vanity Fair is a magazine, right? Like it's a you do whatever you want here. It can be any style that you like.
Right.
I just
even top agent producer from Nova, right? Top agent producer for Real Producers. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real Producers magazine, yada yada.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. So it changes it up. It rewrites it. It talks a little bit more in that tone of whatever you told it to look at. Now, here's where it gets cool with this, guys. You know, we appeal to such a diverse set of clients. Some of us serve areas that have, you know, for example, I have a lot of buddies up in New York. There are certain areas that have a complete community of folks from different spots in the world. And if you're selling in any areas around the DMV, what if you need to appeal to Spanish speaking community? So I could say, translate this article into Spanish. It's okay. It'll understand. Hopefully. There you go. And it's translating that article into Spanish. I can translate that into Chinese. I can translate this into any language. And so if I'm blog posting on my website or post on LinkedIn, you might want to make some of this available. And think about also like writing a listing that's in English, and then below it, you have it in Spanish as well.
Wow.
Like you would take your listing rewrite and just say, great, I love this. Iterate it. Now write this in Spanish. Or like, and again, this is very specific to the areas you like, knowing the areas you serve. Like, they absolutely need to know your demographics of your areas and who your clients are, and then appeal to them. I talked to so many people. I've had employees in the past that English is not their first language. I've spoken with realtors who English is not their first language. And you can use this to, and we're going to get into some of the ways they're using it, but you can use this if writing something in English is not your first language. Use this to write it in your natural language and translate it to English. I mean, and vice versa. I mean, it's such a powerful tool here for translation. So let's keep.
Awesome.
All right. Summarizing large data. I kind of talked about this with the news article, and I'm not going to demonstrate this one. I'm just going to give you an example. If you get an NAR market report, or you get like a long article or document or news something, or for you invest, like you want to read a company's annual report. None of us have the 2 hours to sit down. We're not Bill Gates going on a darkness retreat to read our articles about investing, or Warren Buffett or whoever. We're busy. We're running. We have kids. We have lives. We have things going on. You can take that entire article text and paste it in GPT and let it know to summarize everything for you and give me the top takeaways from this article. So again, I'm just sharing that more of a strategy. We're not going to demonstrate it. This is really helpful for counties, state real estate data, because it comes out in a big report, and you can take it numbers and all, right? Numbers and all, to truncate down, what do I need to know in this article? And then you can flip that social media. Let's see what T. Henry, useful translation. Yeah. You could be unwilling to open yourself to fair housing play if you don't know what it is actually translating to. You're 100% right. So there are absolute tools out there that you can research and use to proof that for you. However, that being said, I have had many of my friends who speak and are fluent and write test this, and it's spot on to whatever it was saying in the other language. So you do need to know your regulations. I'm not, again, disclaimer on that. If you have laws that are very strict and you need to double check that. But I have had this tested. So, and you're 100% right. There are idioms that don't translate directly. Yep. Correct. So if it's not your language, you may not know that. And so it would be very smart to double check and possibly use a tool that would do that for you. Great thought. Thank you, T. Henry. All right. This one here is wonderful. Tactical and emotional responses. How many of us have ever had a less than great conversation with somebody via email or text? All of us at some point or another.
Yes.
It happens. Relationships, clients, something goes off the rail. The appraiser just totally messed up and, the appraisal came back way too low. I mean, we can get some choice words in our heads we want to say. How many of us have ever gotten a bad review and we wanted to get on Google and give whoever left a review a piece of our mind? So a really great strategy I think you can use here is letting ChatGPT give you some ideas of how to respond in a very logical, empathetic way to some of those more emotionally charged conversations we may be having in business or in life. So Tim's typing one out here. Write me a response to this review in an understanding and empathetic way. Tim's been making these up lately, but I did go find a review on the West Coast from a realtor out there. I just looked realtor in California. I found a bad review, and it was like terrible service. Like I had to, it wasn't like what Tim just did. But it was pretty graphic. So this is responding to a review. Now, for me, this is too long for a Google response. So again, if you don't give it parameters, so I'm just going to tell it that's great, but this needs to be like 3 sentences long.
Okay.
All right. There you go. So it gives you a very nice response to keep your perception in the marketplace humble and understanding. I mean, just a quick story here. I've used this to respond to, life situations where you have a text message that you really want to just bang out a good banger response to. I just threw it in there and I said, hey, listen, respond in an understanding and emotion and an empathetic way. And it did. And I still tweaked it. I didn't just copy paste, but it gave me a format for kind of taking my own like immediate knee jerk out of it. So again, this is one of those strategies where folks who I've spoke to where English is not a first language, they've used this to respond to emails appropriately in English to people. If English was not their first language, they weren't quite comfortable typing that. So again, some really good strategies here, tactical and emotional responses. Great strategy to use GPT for. Now, this one is pretty cool. Creating prospecting scripts. We may have thought of doing this. We may have thought of doing some form of like drip campaign or farming campaign or email or postcard campaign. So we're going to get into GPT and really look at what does it look like to create a prospecting script. And Tim, I'd like us to focus, because this is another class I teach around LinkedIn, but I'd like us to maybe focus on LinkedIn. I'm reaching out to a potential client. I'd like to craft some scripts. So write me 5 scripts I can use to reach out to a prospective client on LinkedIn, period. And I would say, I'm targeting clients who may be looking to sell their home due to relocation for work. I'll let you finish that. Thank you. Due to relocation.
Gotcha.
Exactly. All right, period. Keep this message short and somewhat informal. Because we're on social media, right? If we're on social media and we're marketing, we're writing a script, we do want it to be short and somewhat informal. All right. So let's take a look at one. So quick question. I'll answer that, Rick, in a quick second for you. So for some of these scripts, may not be your tone, it may be. Relocating can be exciting. Sometimes come with the chat. I wouldn't just start with that. I would say, hey, Bob, I noticed you just accepted the job. Listen, getting a new job, relocating can be a challenge. It can really give you a great place to start with a script where some of us may not know how to reach out, or we're a little nervous to reach out to somebody for a sale. Like we get a lead, we don't quite know what to do with it. So we can iterate these, Tim. I'll let you iterate if you'd like on any of those. but we can iterate these down to what we want them to be. Start these with more of a question. I like that. So let's scroll down and see what it says. So kind of start with a little bit more of a question. Thinking about relocating, right? We said relocation. We might want to change this up and say, I want to farm a new neighborhood and appeal to people who might be looking to move out of that neighborhood and see what their home is worth with a CMA. So I won't get into all of that for the sake of time, but when we're coming up with scripts, tell it what you're trying to do. The more criteria you give it here, the better. And then keep your scripts. The key in sales, Tim and I actually do quite a bit of sales coaching. The key in sales, make it very straight and to the point with why it matters for them. Talk less about you, more about them, right? Understanding your home's value is a big piece of understanding your finances. You're in a wonderful neighborhood. We've helped a lot of people move in and out. It's been a blessing. We'd love to help you as well if you have the need. Like, you can really write these in a way that's very consumer centric.
I love these. All right. What was Rick's question? Do you want to get back to that?
Yes, sir. So Rick, you asked, what about potential confidential information being used? Does ChatGPT retain and disseminate that elsewhere? Well, there's quite a few examples there. ChatGPT will not take any confidential information that you don't give it from you. So that's one way to answer it. So it's only going to take what you put in there. So for example, if I'm responding to an email, I'm not going to copy the person's name, or if there's obviously any phone numbers or email addresses. I'm only going to copy the bulk of text of what the conversation was if I'm ever responding to an email.
Yeah.
So when it comes to what's confidential, you need to be prudent with what you put in there. Now, around the dissemination, it will not verbatim take that and just put it out there to everybody, because it's not Google. It will take that and learn, and then it may come out in a very blended way with the other 1,000 things that it's learned. It's just like a human brain. So unless it's someone specifically asked it for something that was exactly the same criteria, it still probably would not spit that out.
And like you said earlier, Andrew, about how go back to the same chat GPT and it'll build on your sense of tone. It'll build on your
Correct.
questions. It's kind of like how I learned the pound sign, right? Every time it's those algorithms that it'll learn your questioning, your tone, your statements, things like that. So make sure you don't open up a new chat GPT, build on the one that you're already building on.
Per topic, right? Treat it like a pillar of topic. So if it's content, it's content. If it's articles, it's articles. Right. If it's translation, it's translation. Like whatever it is, use the same chats for the same tasks. Yeah. Now, up to this point, guys, we've kind of this was more of a scratch the surface. I wanted to demonstrate these are some very applicable things that I think we all probably had some neurons firing in our brains, thinking, "Wow, I could use this today. I could do a few things right now with some of these strategies to save me time and really help me streamline whatever I'm doing." Absolutely, you can. For the next two strategies, these are a little bit more advanced level. So full disclaimer, I'm going to explain what's happening, but for the sake of this one, I have a recording. So this is a bulk create social media posts. How many of us post more than, like, yes, we want to do video, that we have to create. ChatGPT, there are AIs out there that will use an avatar and create videos for you. I say stay away from that for now. I think the consumers still want to see your face and your vocals, and people can still tell if it's an avatar. So don't, just because you're scared of getting on video, and I want to give a huge shout out to Julie, who just in the last 2 months has absolutely started crushing video on social media. So Julie, great job on that.
Thank you. However, I would love the avatar little blue ears. I would love that.
Yeah, that would be, yeah, you're right. I do like that ride at Disney. But so don't look at this as an easy button for content when it comes to video. Video you still need to create. It can help you come up. But we all have the content we want to create that's not video. It's the quotes, it's the flyers, it's kind of the standard stuff we need to sprinkle in between. So I want to give you guys an example, a demonstration of the power, and this is, again, still kind of just scratching the surface. How do we create 50 posts at once in the span of, in about 5 minutes? So I'm going to demonstrate that for you. Now, here's what you want to write down if you're taking notes. If you want to learn how to do this, go to YouTube and search how do I bulk create content in Canva using ChatGPT? And it will give you all the steps. Okay. So I'm going to have you watch this and how it works. Tim's going to click play for us here. And Tim, if you want to make that big, and I think our playback speed should be good.
Okay. Just keep it at 1.2.
Yes, sir. Are you paused right now? We want to see what's being typed. All right.
Should be working here.
Great. Just leave your mouse and it'll go away.
Okay.
Awesome. So what I wrote here is I'd like you to find me the top 5 books on real estate investing. Find me 3 quotes from each book that really resonate with the readers. All right. So it did that. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Millionaire Real Estate Investor, whatever real estate agent. So it got me 3 quotes. So I said, great. Now take the quotes. And this is key if you're taking notes. Put them into a tab separated format. Tab separated means it will be able to be pasted into a spreadsheet. So again, this is slightly technical. This is more for you all to observe and see and be cool. This is very cool, but you can absolutely get this video on YouTube to step through it. Tab separated format so that I can copy them into Excel. I want column 1 to have the quote and column 2 to have the author. So it rewrites it so that I can copy and paste this. So now what I do is I copy it and I'm going to go over into my spreadsheet here. Again, this is a recording. I'm going to paste it because I had to do tab separate it, put quote in column 1, and now I'm downloading it as a CSV, comma separated values. So now that's on my computer. I have these authors and quotes in a spreadsheet on my computer. Tim, if you want to slow it down to 1.3 at this point, or 2. Yeah, there we go. So then I went to Canva. We did Canva last month, but this is kind of another iteration of that. Facebook post plus quote. And I just found a template that I liked here. Very simple. Just move your mouse up so it goes away there. There we go.
Tell me when to pause.
Sure thing. Now, the key thing with bulk creating here, guys, once you get your template, before you link the data in the spreadsheet to this post, we want to make sure we format how we want the post to look. So that's what's happening right now. I'm just changing this. And Tim, if you want to speed it up for this section and then just get ready to slow it down, that'd be fine. After the dot elements, once I add those. So you pretty up your post. All right. Well, if we can slow it back down at this point, that'd be great. Okay. All right. So I feel like we're ready to go. Now we're going to link it up. So what you're going to do next to link this bulk content. So if you want to pause real quick, Tim. I currently have the quotes from GPT in a spreadsheet on my computer. I'm now going to go, I formatted my quote posts how I want it to look. And again, this was a quickie. I'm going to go to my left menu on Canva. And if you look over where Tim's highlighting, it's a little small, but you have an option there for bulk create. If that's already not in that side menu, you're going to click the 3 dots that say more and it will be in there. Okay. It just might not, if you haven't used it before, it might not be in your left menu.
Yeah.
I'm going to click bulk create and Tim, let's click play. And I'm going to say upload a CSV, and my face kind of hides it there. I apologize, but upload a CSV. And now what I'm doing is I'm coming over to my post. I uploaded that CSV to Canva. You can see where it says quote and author on the left. I'm connecting each section of the spreadsheet to the post as you just saw. And I hit continue and generate. And I now have all of these posts with the quotes generated, ready to post as they load here. All right. And the only reason that box is popping up is because I was recording the screen, guys. So I now have all these posts with a quote, with the author. And if I'm doing like Motivational Monday, or these are all about real estate investing. This is pretty cool to me. This is a little more complex, but we just automated so much work that we've historically been doing. And again, this is just scratching the surface. Julie, anything you'd add here as you watched?
Yes, I love this. This is amazing. And I do want to answer Myra's a question of, do you think that our content might be looking repetitive compared to other realtors using this tool? Please keep in mind, you are the person behind putting the content into ChatGPT. So even if I was to say, let's have an article on red houses in the zip code 22312, and Tim says the exact same thing, still our personalities, our tone are going to be different, and it's going to come back different. So
exactly.
whatever, just as we are all different, just as how we all think differently, speak differently, it's only going to come back if we were all the same robot, but we're not. We're individual persons and personalities and tones and thoughts. So more than likely, our content that's coming back, it's not going to be the exact same verbatim content that like Tim puts in there versus I put in there versus Andrew puts in there. Because it depends on whatever it brings us is what we put into it, our personality. And we're all different. So no, it won't be the exact same content. I love this though, because it really does take, okay, like you said, a motivational quote that I need to drip campaign per month. It just did it for me in 2.5 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other thing you can do, guys, and I didn't demonstrate it, I could go in GPT and say, I want all the national days that are recognized.
Yes, that's amazing. I mean, it literally just
create posts for you for all the national days, for all the holidays.
So smarter, not harder.
This is all about working smarter. And the one thing around tone, guys, and the question, because this comes up all the time, and it's okay that it comes up. We are all human. We all don't want to be perceived as, saying the same thing. And I get that. But can we all remember one thing? There is nothing new under the sun. There is nothing new under the sun. And Julie, you hit the nail on the head. We all say the same thing. We all talk about the same things. What makes it different is our personality and who we are and how we interact. And so whatever you put into GPT, great point. Now, for the sake of time, let's keep moving. The last one is also more advanced. This last strategy is going to be using the plugin feature on ChatGPT. Now, full disclaimer, this is only available with the paid version of ChatGPT. So here's my policy. You're going to demonstrate this one for us. So here's my policy. Do not go pay for this until you're using it every day. Go start using the free version every day. And as soon as you're using it every day and you're getting comfortable and you're, okay, now I can do more, we're going to go, Tim, create a new chat. And you'll notice at the top, Tim's going to select ChatGPT 4. So I am a subscriber. So with ChatGPT 4, we now have right here where Tim's highlighting plugins. Plugins is basically like an app store within ChatGPT. And here's why plugins matter. Key thing to remember about ChatGPT. The free version only goes to October 2021 for its knowledge base. So it's only read the internet up to, and yes, Rick, it does. The free version saves your results on the left in the chat. So if we're going to want to have ChatGPT do things like analyze current internet, like as of today, as of last quarter, we need to have the paid version and be using a plugin, which is scanning the internet currently. So Tim, let's make sure my plugins are enabled there. And they are. So the two plugins I'm using are simply plugins, those two little red icons. Those are plugins, which are free, that will scan the current internet. So here's the power of GPT again. Tim's going to demonstrate this one. Tim and I have a podcast. We call it Hanging with the Hoopers. It's a play on Hanging with Mr. Cooper back in the day. But we talk about leadership on our podcast. We're both leaders in our past, and we do a lot of consulting. So Tim's copying the link to the YouTube video. And what he's going to do, he's going to come back to GPT using these plugins, and he's going to say in the chat.
I got to move my screen around, bro.
Okay.
Go ahead. We have some buffer here, guys. I know some might have to hop off right at 2. If you do, we're going to go about 5 over, so we don't want to skip this important part, and we will absolutely drip this recording out to everybody. So just want to say that real quick.
Great. So in the chat, Tim's going to say, take this YouTube video, transcribe it for me, and rewrite it, into an article for LinkedIn using the format of a Harvard Business Review or Harvard Business Review format. And then when we're using plugins, this is a more complex task because we're telling it to watch a video, transcribe it, and then we're also telling it to write an article. So I want to say, do you understand your task? Before I put the link and hit enter. Again, this is the paid version. Give it a sec to think. Yes, I understand. Please provide the YouTube video link. I'll transcribe it for you. Once transcribed, I'll rewrite the content into an article. All right, we put the link and we push play. So it's using a plugin right now to analyze that. While it's doing this, because it may take a minute here to do, think about any video you want to watch that maybe you haven't been able to. It's long. The other day, I wanted to buy some Tesla stock, but I wanted to listen to their earnings report. I plugged it in here and said, pull me out a 5-minute recap of this 1.5-minute video and bullet point it for me. And if you're doing it in relation to real estate things, you can plug a video in here for any, like, what about the webinar you couldn't catch? Like, give me the key takeaways from this webinar. Bullet point it for me.
Mind blowing.
Plug it in. All right. So I don't know why I said she.
That's serious.
ChatGPT, right? So here it is. It's writing our podcast episode into an article.
That's amazing.
Right? And here it goes. So now what Tim's going to do later, because this is actually something we needed to get done, so I just got it done with all of you today, is we're going to post this on. This is cool because it's already content we created. And again, this is just scratching the surface of using plugins. So with that, Doug, tell us more about AIPRM. I'm not familiar.
You want to roll over the share or the...
Are you talking about a specific AI that's out there right now? If so, maybe one I have not heard of. Or
we zoom in and take that offline, maybe.
We sure can. We sure can for the sake of time. Any other questions? Julie, any questions for you? I know we're going slightly over time here. I did want to.
Why was this not out when I was in college, in high school, writing papers? That's all I want to know.
Okay, Doug. Yeah, I have not used that extension.
Okay.
But yes, I will check that one out.
Oh, thank you, Amy.
That was great.
If you want to sign up, pull out your phone. This QR scans you to OpenAI, where you can create an account for ChatGPT. So, Tim, if you want to roll through, we can share this out again. Just if you didn't catch the QR, it's openai.com. Free version's free, plus is $20 a month. Don't pay unless you start using it.
Right.
And then finally, guys, stay organized with your chats on the left. I kind of covered this through the chat.
Yeah.
And finally, do not forget, you have to experiment and iterate. This will change your life. This has made so much in my life easy. Anything you need to write, yes, but I hope I showed you enough that you can do a lot more than just writing with it. Yeah. I mean, it's absolutely impressive.
So just a reminder, again, this is a 3-part end of sales series. Okay. So the first one we had last week on building your tools with Canva. And then this obviously today is AI. And then next week, we're going to be doing implementing your videos. Again, it's building on top of each other. So join us next week for the next presentation. Tell your realtor friends to come and join us as well. It's a great 1-hour session with Andrew and Tim Hooper. I'm so grateful and thankful for having you two with me today. If you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me directly, jturner@mbh.com. And we are so grateful for having each and every one of you on today. So thank you.
Absolutely.
So much. And if there's any questions you think of afterwards, don't hesitate to contact us.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you, MBH. And yes, to answer your question, if you need the link to the Canva presentation, somebody dropped it in the chat. Just reach out to Julie. She can get that over to you. It was recorded. And this recording will go out to you guys as well. So thank you for being on today. Andrew, again, great job.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody.
Awesome job, guys. Thank you. Big round of applause for Andrew and Tim. Thank you so much.
Yes. All that will be sent out, guys. Prompts and all. See ya.